Hi, everyone. I'm Emily, and I'm the Clinical Success Manager at Docology. I am a former full-time clinician myself, and I now lead clinic onboarding, training, and implementation to help clinics like yours function more efficiently every single day. So let's jump in and take a look at the product. When you first log in, you're going to land on this documents inbox. Here you will see that we've taken the faxes and parsed them into documents that have a name, a general type, and been matched to a patient. You also have two additional columns that give you the status of this document and allow you to assign to a queue directly from the document inbox. We will get more into queues here in just a moment. Notice in the top right-hand side, you also have the option to filter to your specific needs so that it supports your workflow best. Moving on to the second tab on the left-hand side, we have the Queues tab. When you get to the work queue, you will see that it looks very similar to the document inbox. However, now we have the capability to use this drop-down menu and filter by queues. This is extremely beneficial for any teams that need to have specific documents within their workflow, like billing, surgery scheduling, or new referrals and new patient scheduling. Let's filter down to just my queue to get started. And you will see that I have a couple documents in here that I need to work on. We're going to start with this lab report here. When you first open this document, you're going to notice a lot of new actions. Let's start in the top right-hand corner where you have the option to both print or download to PDF. So if your workflow requires it, you have that option directly from each document. Moving on to the 5 main actions on the right-hand side. It's always going to open to the first action that needs to be completed. However, we can pop open this first action, which is match to a patient, to go ahead and verify that we matched that correctly. And you do have the option to change the patient or unmatch the patient if needed. Action number 2 is uploading to the EHR. Here you will see that AI has suggested a few different document types, and there is a confidence percentage for us. We also are able to select the drop-down menu to pick other types of documents. These document types come directly from your EHR and what you're using in your workflow today, so they are customizable to your specific workflow. We can all see that this is a lab result, so we're going to choose lab result. It asks for a few additional document details, which our system automatically plugged in for us. And then we just submit upload. And this lands directly within your chart in the right area that we selected based on document type. Action number 3 is creating an EHR task. All you have to do is select your template from the drop-down menu. Again, completely customizable based on the EHR that you're using today. Hit create task, and now it's living in the tasking area of your EHR. The fourth action is assigning to a queue. Obviously, we're working within my queue, so we know this lives in my queue today, but I do have the option to remove it from my queue or assign it to a different queue right from here. We're going to leave it in my queue today. The final action is to mark your document as done, which will indicate that you've completed the required review work for this document. When I choose this option, it's going to give me another box that prompts me to only mark the document as done or mark the document and task as done. In this scenario, the task is referring to the task within my queue. So let's mark both done and see what happens. You can see the document as done. And now when we close this document, it's no longer living in my queue. However, it's not completely gone. If we toggle on include completed tasks, you will see that this lab result that we just processed is sitting down here at the bottom, and it's crossed out, functioning much like a traditional to-do list. Let's look at one more document in my queue. Here we have a sample insurance card, and you'll notice we still have all the same actions on the right-hand side. But let's take a look further down at these AI extracted fields. Here you will see that we have the patient demographics as well as the specific insurance information that's already been pulled out, which is going to make running insurance eligibility much more efficient and help with reducing human error when it comes to manually entering this information into the EHR, as we can push this right over to your EHR for you. Let's move on to the third tab on the left-hand side, which is the source files. Within the source files inbox, you will be able to review incoming files and track their processing status. Let's open one that has multiple documents and multiple pages. Within the source file view, if you scroll down on the far right-hand side, you can see how our system has automatically parsed this fax into 4 different documents. In this specific scenario, we have lab results for 4 different patients, and so we split it into 4 different documents, reducing that chance of error that somebody's information ends up in the wrong chart. However, you do have the option to edit splits here if you find that you need to move something around. Also worth noting, at the top of the source files, you do have the option to edit page orientation if needed. Moving on to our final tab on the left-hand side, which is the patients. Here you can see all of the patients that docology has matched within our system. You can search for patients directly in the search bar, or you can filter by date of birth. Or if your patient is sitting here on this main screen, you can just click their name and it'll open up their information. So here we have Paige Williamson, here's her patient information, and if you scroll down, you can see every document that we have matched to this specific patient. So Paige has a recurrent UTI referral in here, and we have parsed this out into 5 documents because there's a referral, lab results, clinic notes, etc. If you continue to scroll down, you will see that this is where our summary and our medical timeline lives. This is one of my favorite parts outside of course, all of the workflow efficiency, because when I was working full-time and working with patients every single day, this would have significantly decreased my chart prep time to just minutes before I walked into a patient's room. The best part is that we can push this directly into your EHR and work with you on where you would like it to land to make your day more efficient and keep your team from having to log in and grab this information. Thanks for spending time with me, and I hope to work with you soon.